Whoa, sorry about that. I just lost internet connection.
Oh, good. Understandable.
Let me see if I can get my Hearthstone restarted.
Sure.
Have you seen the weather out there? Oh, at least it's warm in here.
Ooh. Thank God I reconnected right away. My internet just went down for a very quick while.
All good.
But yeah, so that was an amazing game by Death Star. I'm gonna go ahead and let them know what happened. But I hope I'm not lagging right now, and it seems like the stream went offline, unfortunately, so they will be missing parts of the game, I think. I will have a local recording, though. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll just continue from here, and I do apologize for that.
It'll be all good. We'll get the info there. We'll get the games back for you guys.
Alright, and they're jumping back in. Sorry about that. And Death Star with a 2-1 lead right now. Showing his awesome Hunter deck. Okay, what we were talking about before was the Tundra Rhino, right? I think the problem with it before was that it was really just hard to fit it in. Because I think everyone just got used to the same old Hunter list, you know, and none of them had it. It was kind of better to just get it off a web spinner.
True. It's not, Tundra Rhino wasn't those, absolute necessity. It was a nice to have out of a web spinner or to have gotten the card by some other means, but definitely not an absolute requirement for Hunter decks, as it were.
Yeah, and Death Star in his match point, he's got one of the more favorable matchups. He's queuing Zoo versus Druid. And on top of that, he got the double Flame Imp into Knife Juggler start. That is pretty much the strongest start you can have as Zoo. So it's kind of nuts. However, CG Songbird does have... I told you, like, I love Living Roots. Look what happens here. It's so flexible. Turn 3. Normally, you just Wild Growth there. You float a mana. But with Living Roots, you're able to kill a Knife Juggler. Like, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Does force you to play your Druid of the Claw in defensive mode, which is okay. Especially in this matchup, because you know you're going to take a lot of damage anyway.
Ooh, this juggle is gonna be crazy.
Get in there, fight, maggot.
It's gonna almost game deciding. Okay, so Death Star gonna go ahead and use his power blooming on the Druid of the Claw, but if he found himself in a spot where he didn't have to use power blooming there, he'd be in a huge lead.
Yep. Bye-bye, Dr. Boom, but you knew you were losing a legendary either way.
Yeah. Gormok the Impaler. So this Death Star is playing Zoo, but it's got a TGT twist to it. I like it.
It's interesting to see Gormok in the Zoo deck. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Right. Unfortunately, though, he just got his whole board cleared, and that kind of... Well, he's probably going to end up dropping the Gormok, but it just won't get, you know, the value of the battle cry.
Right.
For me, personally, I think Gormok is a bit of a win more card, because if you already have 4 minions on board, you're probably in a very commanding position.
Right.
But then again, in this spot, let's say he had like Dark Iron Dwarf. Like, it wouldn't really have improved the situation much anyway. It'd just be the same thing. You drop a 4/4 for 4 mana.
Right. That swipe sitting in CG's hand is going to allow her to clear out 3 minions off of this board. Actually, clear the whole board. So, again, Death Star sort of committed all in, and has now been board cleared twice. Did force CG Songbird to heal, and that'll be it. Death Star says, "You know what? Pause. Gonna come back to this. I'm already up by 1, so let's just let's even it out. Let's go to game 5.
Yeah.
And see what we can do."
I mean, Death Star had a really great start there, but like I said, I think the MVP of that game was the Living Roots. The Living Roots killed a Knife Juggler, prevented the snowball.
It's true.
Gul'dan versus Garrosh.
Death Star gonna revisit the same hand. Gonna use his Zulok with the TGT twist. And we're gonna see CG actually bring out her warrior deck. It's gonna be interesting to see what we can see there. I already see, a fair few TGT cards passing through.
Yeah.
So,
We saw the Justicar and now the variant, and Justicar is like one of those things that, like, it's not that great of a body when you play it, but then if it goes into a really long game and you end up in a spot where you just get 4 armor every turn and the zoo can't kill you, you know, you just... It's like a... It actually wins in a lot of fatigue matches, so... But this one isn't particularly a fatigue match, so I don't think it'll be that useful.
right. Yeah, not looking to fatigue out here, not looking to max draw or anything, or draw out the decks. They're it's going to be likely pretty fast from Death Star's side. We saw the opening last time. Again, not as favorable a hand this time. Didn't get the double flame imp and the Knife Juggler, but a pretty aggressive start from Death Star. So we know that Death Star likes to play a Zulok aggressive, and it won't be a fatigue by any means. So it'll be interesting to see how CG Songbird retaliates to stop the hemorrhage. Life loss.
Alright, so Death Star gonna abusive the Imp Gang boss, making sure that the Acolyte of CG Songbird only draws 1 card. That's kind of important because kind of how the Warrior stabilizes this matchup is when they get extra cards from the Acolyte, finds the answers they need to stabilize.
Right.
We do see CG Songbird running Revenge, so that could come into play. It's really good as a whirlwind. Like if you see your opponent's board is full of 1 health creatures, you just use it right away. But you could also save it for late game when you're at low health, they're about to kill you, and then you just clear the board with a 3 damage AoE.
Yep, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if that revenge gets played proactively, or if we see sort of a dire straits use. But unfortunately for CG Songbird, the Armor Smith is going to allow that Imp Gang boss to feed off and spawn quite a few 1/1s if it continues to stay up.
Indeed, indeed. Coin Thorson, usually never a bad idea. Discounts a lot of really good cards, like Varian Rin. Getting that discounted, gonna be a pretty big deal. Getting the Revenge discounted as well. Again, now it's potentially a 1 mana 3 damage AoE.
Yep, that in itself is pretty strong. And don't discredit the shield slam shield block combo that he now has discounted, or she now has discounted as well. Could be a pretty quick and easy removal, especially if we see that post just the card.
Yeah, definitely going to be wanting to use a shield slam on this Sea Giant here. Although, actually, no. She does have a BGH, so I think the BGH will be coming out over the shield slam.
What now?
Yep, BGH gonna come out. Can't let that Sea Giant stay up. Not gonna allow it to happen. We use Taskmaster to clear off one of the imps, and, or I'm sorry, actually clear off the abusive star.
Right, that removes a bit more damage. I really do like the fact that well, wow, Death Star is going to be coming out with the Knife Juggler Implosion now. Huge power play. That's going to be, well, it's only going to be 3 juggles because he doesn't have space.
Only
for
3 juggles, but still pretty strong. I mean, ideally, you would have liked to have gotten that 4th juggle in there, but the board was a little bit full. But this is a pretty mean-looking board for a Death Star.
Yeah, unfortunately for Death Star, CG Songbird's got her... Or unfortunately for CG Songbird, Death Star's got his 2nd power roaming, so he's going to be able to take out this Belcher really, really easily. Death Star has the option of clearing out, using his entire hand here. The Owl probably won't be doing much though. I think maybe he's thinking about suiciding an Imp, and then making space for the Owl.
That would, I mean, that's a pretty, pretty safe bet.
Death Star does indeed go for that. Ooh, gonna tap though instead of playing the Doomguard. Which I do like because if you play the Doomguard now and you empty out your hand, the Void Caller no longer poses as much threat. And with that, Death Star is threatening lethal next turn. However, the Revenge though, okay, the Revenge does trigger, but it'll pop the egg. I mean, I think you could just Shield Slam Nerubian, I suppose. Alright, she does indeed go for that. And in addition, okay, the discount matters because now she can also just go ahead and play the low threat.
Yeah, I apologize. Sorry, I was trying to work something out with our next match, seeing what's going on. But yeah, an interesting. We've seen an interesting swing in the dynamic of this match so far. We talked about it not being a fatigue match, and we've obviously seen a lot of aggression out of Death Star, but sort of beginning slowly to turn that tide.
Varian Rin coming out. Now, if CG Songbird gets a taunt like 2nd Belcher, that would be amazing. Just the card True Heart, not gonna get the Battle Cry effect, however.
Not good. I mean, it's good. It's 6-3,
Whoa,
that's good.
Oh, that is lethal. Okay, Death Star last turn, right? Didn't play the Doomguard, knew that he would need both the Power Roaming and the Doomguard to get lethal next turn, and the Varian Rin didn't pull out a taunt. So Death Star advances 3-2.
3-2, an absolute slobber knocker for our first semifinal match of the night. A well-earned victory from Death Star. CG Songbird did not go down without a fight, and just goes to show you what kind of action you can expect in the RCS Rusty Horn series. I mean, that's the absolute best way that we can open a tournament, and undoubtedly we'll see pretty much the same thing out of our finalist match in our next semifinalist match.
That was indeed a really cool series. I really liked Death Star's decks there. I think they were... You saw a lot of what worked before, but with the TGT twist, and yeah, that was fun. We'll go on a quick intermission. We need to get the other semifinal match ready. We'll be right back with some more amazing Hearthstone action. Don't go anywhere.
You gave him the go ahead?
Yep. Alright, and we are back with Rusty Horn number 12. We have our other semifinal match ready for you guys. It's going to be Golatator versus Koroneko. Now, Koroneko, he's been playing these open tournaments for quite a while. I've seen his name around quite a bit. He has a lot of first places, a lot of runner-ups under his belt, so he's got a lot of experience, and I'm excited to see what he's bringing today. Golatator, I haven't seen him around as much, but he's also a legend player. I think we've got another exciting match for you guys today, so I am awesome and ready to cast.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting. Probably pretty much the same amount of action that we saw in the last match. Just going to be very elevated gameplay. You know, we're not talking about ranks 1 or 2 legends, but we're seeing consistently high-ranked legend players coming into the RCS and really forcing slobber knocker type duels. I mean, we're not seeing the 3-0 steamrolls that you would normally see out of a mismatch. I mean, these are hard fought victories out of each bracket each week.
Indeed. Well, it seems like Golatator might be away from keyboard right now, so I've given them both the go-ahead. Koroneko has responded. Golatator is not responding.
He's preparing himself. He's composing himself, letting the adrenaline, you know, taper off, getting the jitters out, getting ready, getting in the zone, getting a Gatorade. You know, got to be prepared, always hydrated, and all of that jazz. He's just got to be ready. Undoubtedly preparing for this intense battle that's getting ready to take place.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's just using a prolonged restroom break.
Or that too.
Oh, okay. They're in. They're in, and I need to make sure that he invites us, because he doesn't have a spectator enabled. Oh, he did. He is on top of his game. He just sent me the invite.
Yep.
And all right. And our first game, it's going to be Kuroneko on what seems to be Patron Warrior, tried and true, definitely works. Gulitator on Hunter. We don't know what type of Hunter it is yet, but let's see.
Looks pretty facey to me, given the Leper Gnome, the Juggler, and the Abusive Sergeant opening. A pretty good opening hand from Gulitator, actually. So pretty intimidating, but King Magni Bronzebeard himself going to make an appearance in the tournament tonight. So I obviously have to root for the dwarf. How can you say no to the man who's toting 2 hammers and has such a passion for Casmodon, right?
We feeling icky today?
Yeah, Gulitator, pretty good strong. I mean, a strong start. Gonna probably likely see the Knife Juggler play next turn, and not as good of a start for Kuroneko. Going to use an Iterate to clear out that Leper Gnome. Going to take 2 damage on the backside because of it. But pretty, I mean, in a removal spot, and you need removal, and that's certainly a way to get rid of him.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kuroneko's plan. I actually really like Kuroneko's spot here. This is a favorite matchup for the Patron Warrior. He's drawn into both War Axe and Deathspite. Yeah, this is quite a commanding position. I do think this is a little bit awkward, but I do think the coin Deathspite weapon override is the correct play here. Oh, actually, Frothing Berserker, tempo, maybe. I wonder how much he values the coin here. Or maybe just Acolyte. Ooh, tempo Frothing Berserker coming out. I mean, this actually works out quite well because... No! Okay, not gonna work out as well as he would have hoped. I think he was trying to go for the Frothing plus weapon to trade into the Misha, but now Kuroneko is just going to take 6 to the face, and he's going to have to do the weapon override anyway. But he does save the coin, so I think what he was doing there was that he really valued his coin a lot.
Yeah. Definitely put a lot of faith in the coin there. Not misplaced faith at all. Second Misha coming out for Gulitator, but not good draws on the Animal Companion. But I guess it does get the job. It did soak, it did protect against the Frothing Berserker. But the Frothing Berserker at the same time, you can argue that it drew a kill command. So that in and of itself is pretty good.
That is indeed true. So drawing out a kill command. However, Kuroneko is already down to 11. That's kind of questionable. I mean, at this point, he's going to have to tank another 4 to the face. He'll be at 7. He can armor up to 9. But now he's going to stare down a high main. And, you know, I think Kuroneko still has a pretty good shot here. It depends on if he's running... I typically see a lot of patrons running shield blocks. So if he draws one of those or perhaps an armor smith, he can indeed find himself regaining all of that lost HP.
Gonna use the shield slam combo to get rid of this scar, but unfortunately gonna leave 2 hyenas behind. And still in a precarious predicament. Looking at 5 damage coming out of the hero power and a quick shot against the 2 damage of the hyena as well. So that's 7 damage there. But
critical decision for Kuroneko here. He's actually gonna go face. He doesn't care about leaving the hyena alive. Wow.
That's it. Yep, that is it. Okay, well, game number 1 gonna be a lightning round. Gulitator coming out with a pretty strong face hunter deck. Absolutely applying the pressure. Unfortunately there, King Magni Bronzebeard hamming it up there in the death.
Right.
That's it. Kuroneko handed a loss here in the first game of
it seems
this
I've disconnected
series.
from Hearthstone again. I will reconnect as soon as I can.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, that was... I think I kind of expected Kuroneko to do a little bit better there. I think him playing the tempo frothing and not immediately overriding the weapon, I think that caused him to take a lot of extra damage. Because if he had killed the Misha, he wouldn't have had a target for the abusive sergeant. I'm gonna try to jump back in as quickly as I can. It seems like they've already started game 2. I'll jump right in. Oh no, my friends list is scrolling. I have too many.
You're too popular. Is that what you're saying, Astro?
No,
Quite
I mean,
offensive. There may be some viewers out there who don't have as many friends. As
no, I hate it when you log in. Your friends list takes a long time to update, and it slowly fills.
Right.
Gulatator on it, immediately inviting me to spectate. I like that. Okay, so Koroneko here, coming out with a Paladin, Gulatator on the Warlock. Whoa, we can't see his hand yet. Oh, okay, never mind, we can. Gulatator on Handlock. Okay, so it's the first Handlock that we're seeing today, and I'm curious to see how this is working out in TGT so far.
Will be interesting. Is this the the fabled secret paladin making his second appearance in the Rusty Horn tonight, do you think?
Yeah, we do see the secrets, but we also do see a Tyrion Ford ring, so I haven't seen that in most of the secret decks, but definitely a strong include in most paladin decks, so I don't blame him.
And Koroneko turning on the fire, turning up the heat. He says, you know what, Blessing of Kings, competitive spirit, we're going to push the damage as much as we can here and really throw it back into Gulatator's, put the ball back in his court. We're seeing massive aggression coming out from Koroneko. Probably underestimated the start of the match, didn't realize it would go as fast-paced as it was. Now we're seeing that response from Koroneko, and it's working.
No, you know what's interesting? I'm sure that Gulatator would have liked to drop a Mountain Giant or a Drake last turn, but because he had to silence the 6/7 Spider, it meant that his development would be slowed significantly. And well, I'd say the advantage goes to Koroneko right now, just slightly. Although he does have to get through this 4/4 taunt still. Whoa! Redemption value right there. Wait, is it me? Wait, the death rattle. Oh, okay, never mind. It was silenced, so the death rattle didn't get triggered. So I was like, wait, wasn't he supposed to get spiders from that? And then I realized.
Right. Yeah, no spiders out of that one. Pretty good heads-up play by Gulatator there to test out for that redemption by killing the silent one. So pretty heads-up play there.
Now, ooh, actually gonna go ahead and trade in his Knife Juggler. He's already gotten quite a lot of value from it, so I'm guessing he's like, well, I need to get through that. I think the best thing is to just save my Divine Shield. Because the Divine Shield does resist AoE a little bit, so it's a little bit better.
Yep, it can survive that initial Hellfire, but obviously not in Gulatator's hand. Currently, we see another taunt up on an Ancient Watcher and now a Mountain Giant to make a pretty formidable wall in front of Koroneko now.
I think my game got glitched. I'm gonna have to rejoin real quick.
So Koroneko going to play out his get down, trade in most of his board to clear off the Mountain Giant and leave up the Ancient Watcher and the Defender of Argus. But get down going to soak the damage from the Defender of Argus. And we'll see if Koroneko can get through the Ancient Watcher to get back into face damage territory against Gulatator.
Alright, so I'm back in the game. Unfortunately, can't see Gulatator's hand right now. I'm asking him to invite us again so that we can see his hand. Alright, we got it. It seems like Gulitator's done a pretty good job of actually holding off the aggression and stabilizing. He does have Jiraxis, another Belcher. He has the option to coin Jiraxis next turn to heal if he needs to be. Although I don't see Kuroneko getting through these taunts anytime soon.
Put your faith in the light.
Tyrion Fordring making his appearance on the battlefield now. A pretty understandable play. I mean, given Mysterious Challenger or Tyrion Fordring. Going to play out that Tyrion Fordring to hopefully soak up the damage from Gulitator this time.
Right, I do like the Tyrion play a little more because of the Death Rattle. I think the Death Rattle weapon is going to be highly relevant in this situation. Although the Mysterious Challenger, I don't know if the secrets would help as much as the Death Rattle effects. I mean, he has seen one of the owls used by Gulitator, so I think he's a little bit happier playing the Tyrion.
There's that fabled Hellfire going to come out and clear out all of Kuroneko's board, but like you said, the Death Rattle weapon going to take effect after Tyrion Fordring clearing off of the board. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as a result of that. Kuroneko down to 7 health against Gulitator's 10, but like you talked about, Lord Jiraxis able to make his appearance onto the board at any time with Gulitator's hand.
Ooh, but actually he doesn't have lethal because of Noble Sacrifice. If there was no Noble Sacrifice, that would be Jiraxis lethal.
Right.
And the Avenge. Okay, so actually, that was crazy. So he had the option of playing either Boom or Mysterious Challenger, and he chose Mysterious Challenger over Boom. What that indicates to me is that he thinks that Mysterious Challenger is a better card in that spot, and that's crazy. Like, if you thought that Blizzard couldn't come up with a legendary... It's not even a legendary. If you thought Blizzard couldn't come up with a card stronger than Boom, you were wrong. I mean, this card is strong enough to be a legendary. Like, it's crazy. But the thing is, you can have 2 of them in a deck. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's fair, man.
Given the popularity and certainly the effectiveness of Secret Paladin, I'd have to agree with you. I don't know that 2 of these monsters are totally fair in a deck.
Yeah. I think Kuroneko's thinking about overriding the weapon here, and I think... Oh, and he does! Okay, so mainly because, like, the Divine Shield value would be crazy in this spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he gets to play Boom as well. I mean, normally you don't see, like, the Ashbringer, right? The Ashbringer, one of the best weapons in the game. You don't see that getting overridden so easily, but Kuroneko definitely found a spot where it was appropriate and acting on it. And whoa, this is a really close game.
Yep. Kuroneko clawing, biting, scratching his way, keeping in there in the fight. He says, you know what? It's not over. I'm not giving up that easy.
Yeah, and you know what? Sylvanas Shadow Flame now. One of the craziest combos in the game. He has the option to do that. I think he's just got to go for it. I mean, I would have been like, okay, Kuroneko looks like he's got the game in the back after that Boom, but man, that Shadow Flame top deck.
Yep.
I have no time for games.
Basically, all he needs is for the Boom bots not to do 4/4 to the face.
Gets it. Yep. Only 2 to the face and only 2 to the Twilight Drake. So in a...
The victory is...
And yeah, that's...
Wow.
That's good.
That was quite back and forth. In the beginning, I thought Kuroneko had a huge advantage, and then it seemed like Gulitator was able to stabilize, drop down some taunts, had the option to Jiraxis if he wanted to. But then it happened that, well, then, you know, Kuroneko dropped the Tyrion, got an Ashbringer, played Boom, looked like he was in a spot to win, and then the Sylvanas Shadow Flame comes out.
And then Sylvanas.
Yeah. That was an exciting game. But Kuroneko down in the series now. 0-2 Gulitator. Match point for him. Let's see if he can close this out.
Yeah, it'll be our first 3-0 sweep if Gulitator actually manages to pull this one out. So first 3-0 sweep in quite a while. It's almost been, what, a month since we've seen a sweep in a semifinal series, I think.
All right, and it looks like Kuroneko's ready to go into. He needs to reverse sweep here, and you know it's a tough spot, but he does have some pretty strong decks. Again, he's got the Patron Warrior, he's got the Secret Paladin. Definitely doable.
Yep, definitely a possibility. Never discount the reverse sweeps. If anything, we've seen in the RCS that reverse sweeps are definitely possible and do definitely happen. Just last week, we saw the finalist, Nalgodan, come back from a 2-0 deficit and come back and sweep the final series to win the Rushing War number 11. So don't count anyone out just yet. We have to see where the cards lie. We have to see where the draws go.
Heart of the cards?
Heart of the cards, that's it. You gotta believe.
I believe. I believe in love, I believe in Hearthstone, I believe in the RCS.
That's right. That's all you need. Love, Hearthstone, the RCS.
Alright, so we do see that it is indeed a Patron Mirror. I don't blame either of these guys. Very solid deck, tried and tested and optimized. TGT didn't really do anything to, you know, change how the deck operates. So you're still gonna see the 30 damage Frothing Berserkers coming at your face.
Right.
As well as the 4 patrons. You know, okay, Kuroneko though. Kuroneko's definitely got the advantage here. He's gonna be able to go off with patrons next turn with the Inner Rage and the Death Spite charge. So typically, if you can get that off on turn 5, you win the game. Unless you can't finish them off in time and then they counter lethal you, but I mean, we'll have to see if that. Well, actually, the Gulitator though, he's got Emperor Thorson and 2 Frothing Berserkers and a bunch of Whirlwind effects. So if he if he draws into Warsong, he definitely will be able to counter lethal.
Yep, both are drawing in. Their hands are beginning to turn into pretty good combos. We see Emperor Thorson now out for Gulitator. He's going to get some pretty decent discounts this turn for those combos. Both Frothing Berserkers getting hit by the discount, as well as Whirlwind and the Grim Patron. So plenty of good deep discounts now for Gulitator.
Yeah, amazing discounts, but unfortunately, again, without the Warsong Commander, you just can't do too much in this spot. He needs the charge.
Maybe... No.
Kuroneko definitely going to need to clear out this Thorson here. The question is, how does he do it? He can slam, use a War Axe, he can trade the 5-1 in, he can do a lot of things. Whoa. Alright, I like what I'm seeing. So basically, Kuroneko's like, well, my opponent just played Thorson, that means he is going to be able to counter lethal me if I take too long to finish him off. He's going to go ahead and just charge out 6 of these patrons, hit his opponent in the face, equip the War Axe, hit face with a War Axe, threaten lethal immediately for next turn.
Yeah, force the do or die situation, force that sort of adrenaline charged response, and hopefully even forcing your opponent to make mistakes, because now you're in this sort of frenzied mode where you're saying, oh man, that's lethal next turn. How am I going to get this? You know, how am I going to stop this from happening? What can I do?
Right. I think a lot of less experienced Patron players, they might just play a little slow, not commit their worst on commander in that spot. But I do believe that Kroneko made the right decision.
That will certainly give him the edge and give him the victory here in game number 3. Gulatator saying, you know what? You definitely had lethal. Wasn't much I could do to stop it. We're gonna try this again here in the next match.
Right. That was pretty well played. But again, he did have the turn 5 patrons, so it definitely helps to win that matchup. Now, here's a matchup that I'm excited to see. It's basically the old OP in the Patron Warrior versus the new OP Secret Paladin. So I don't know. I don't even know how to call this one, really. I just no predictions
it's the battle
whatsoever.
Of the OPs. Which OP comes out on top tonight? Find out here at the Rusty Block Series.
Yeah. Well, Kroneko's got a decent start. He's got 2 shielded mini-bots, but Gulatator... is he going to coin out the... Okay, he's just going to slam off the Divine Shield to just get that slam value, cycle it. Definitely value the coin a little bit, and... Yeah.
Those shielded mini-bots going to work for Kroneko, just starting to push out the damage about as much as they can. Like you said, slam value there. That was pretty good heads-up play by Gulatator to get that slam value. Just cycle it off, pop the Divine Shield, and you get a whirlwind for your troubles. So not too bad.
You know, one of the tougher things about playing against Paladin now is that they have so many secrets. They're running like 5 secrets, so it's really hard to play around their secrets. Like this could be Avenge, and then you'd be scared to coin Deathspite, you know, onto the non-shielded mini-bot.